If you've been learning English for years but still can't speak English fluently, by the end of this video, you'll stop struggling with your brain and learn the secrets of fluent English speaking. Hello everyone, I'm Mr. English Teacher. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about a book that thousands of language teachers worldwide take as an example. The book's name is How Languages Are Learned. The authors are Nanina Speeder and Patti Lightbound. This book answers one single question. How can people really learn a language? Is it the way we learned in schools traditionally, or is there something happening in our brain that we don't know about? But before we get into the video, if you also want to improve in English, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because this video will give you a lot of information you didn't know. Listen carefully. Yes, now listen. If you also understand English but can't speak it, you're not alone. Millions of people are in this situation. So why? You'll learn the answer now. Input. Everything that enters your brain. The biggest idea in the book is this. Input. What does input mean? It means the language you receive. When you listen to English, when you read English, everything that enters your brain is input. Now I'm going to say something very critical. Listen carefully. Input is like food. Your brain needs food to grow. If you don't eat, your body gets weak. If your brain doesn't get language, it can't learn language. Unfortunately, without input, you cannot learn a language. This is impossible. No matter how much you memorize rules or study word lists, without hearing and reading real English, your brain won't develop fluent English speaking. And now the harsh truth comes. Speaking doesn't come first. Yes, you heard that right. Speaking doesn't come first. Listening and reading always come first. Many people learning English say, I want to speak immediately, I need to practice. Okay, this is natural, but the book shows us this. Speaking is built on listening. You can't build a house without a foundation. Input is the foundation of language. So what kind of input? Here comes the second secret. Comprehensible input, understandable language. So teacher, what does comprehensible input mean? It means English that you can understand most of. Not every word, not every sentence, but you understand the message. You grasp the main idea. This is comprehensible input. Look, this is so important that if English is too easy, you get bored. If it's too hard, you get lost. Good input is in the middle. Maybe you understand 70 to 80%. Some words are new, some sentences are strange, but you can follow the story. Learning happens right here. For you to practice this, let me give you a quick example. You're watching a short video. A man comes home. He takes off his shoes. He sits on the couch. He closes his eyes. The speaker says, he was exhausted after work. You might not know the word exhausted, but you see the man. You can understand he looks tired. Then it says, he went to bed early. Your brain makes a connection. The man looks tired and went to bed early, so exhausted means very tired. Nobody explained this to you to learn it, right? Or nobody translated it to you. Your brain learned from context. This is how real English learning happens. And now the most powerful part. When you get lots of comprehensible input, your grammar develops naturally. Then your brain starts to notice patterns. I'm tired, I'm hungry, I'm late, I'm ready. Your brain notices something. I'm comes before a feeling or condition. Look, you're learning this without studying. I mean, your brain noticed. This is natural learning. Children learn like this. They hear language all day. They don't ask, what's the rule? They hear patterns. Adults can learn like this too, but most adults either don't know this process or don't want to choose it because it's tedious. But the book shows us that learning can be easy, slow, and natural. Frequency, daily practice is essential. Another critical point, frequency, meaning how often you get input. One lesson a week, one podcast a week is not enough. The brain forgets everything. The brain needs reminders. When you hear English every day, your brain keeps them. It continues learning. That's why daily listening is very important. Even 10 minutes a day is enough. Short listening is better than no listening, and short daily listening is better than long listening once a week. The book explains to us that quantity matters. You need a lot of English, not perfect English, not difficult English, but a lot of understandable English. Now I'm speaking to you directly. If you listen to English every day, even if you're bored, even if you're tired, your brain is working. You might not feel the progress, but progress is happening quietly. One day, you'll suddenly understand more. That day, words will come out of your mouth easily. But that moment won't be given to you as a gift. It will come with the effect of your inputs, from listening, from reading, from repetition. So don't rush speaking. First feed your brain. Give it input again and again. Try speaking too, but don't rush. Languages are learned like this, slowly, naturally, and by understanding. Internal system, the hidden factory in your brain. Now we're moving to the next bomb idea. This idea will help you understand what's happening in your brain. Most learners think language learning is simple. They think it works like this. First you learn a rule, then you use the rule, then you speak correctly. But the book says something very different. Language doesn't grow like a machine, but language grows like something alive, like a plant. You can't control every step. You can't force it, so it grows inside slowly in its own way. This book we're examining calls this the internal system. Internal means inside. System means an organized way of working. So the internal system is the invisible language system in your brain. You can't touch it, but it's there, and you can notice it's constantly changing. Let me explain very simply. When you listen to English, your brain doesn't copy sentences exactly. Your brain builds its own version of English. This version is not perfect, not like a native English speaker. Something in the middle, not your mother tongue, not perfect English. Your English. And this is very important. Your English today is not your English tomorrow. It changes, it grows, it develops. Even when you make mistakes, your system is working. Mistakes, your superpower. Let's now talk about mistakes more deeply. Most learners never talk about mistakes. They feel ashamed, they feel uncomfortable. They say, I don't want to speak because I make mistakes. But the book tells us something very important. Mistakes are not random. They don't happen without reason. Mistakes are systematic, meaning they have a pattern and each one has a reason. Let me give an example. Many learners say, he go to work every day. Okay, this is not correct English. But this mistake is very interesting. Why? Because the learner knows many things. They understand the sentence. They're communicating. They just don't add the S. What does this tell us? The learner's internal journey hasn't finished yet. It's developing, it's growing. Later, after more input, they start saying, he goes to work every day. So what changed now? More input, more listening. The brain updated the system. Grammar really grows like this, but this process happens not by memorizing rules, but by rebuilding the system again and again. Grammar rules can be helpful, but the book explains, rules don't control learning. Rules are not like a map. A map helps you understand a city, but you don't learn a city by reading a map. You learn a city by walking in it, by driving around it. Language is the same. Rules explain language. Input builds language. This is very important. Many learners study grammar for years but can't speak comfortably. Why? Because they know the rules but haven't received enough input. The book tells us something very important. Correction alone doesn't fix mistakes, but hearing correct language repeatedly fixes mistakes. Let me repeat. Correction helps a little. Input helps a lot. That's why listening is more powerful than correcting. Now let me tell you clearly. If your English level is mixed, unbalanced, this means you're learning. I mean your language system is alive. In other words, it's changing, and change is generally uncomfortable, but uncomfortable doesn't mean bad. It means growth. You just trust this process, trust input, trust time, trust repetition. Your English is not broken. It's becoming. And languages are learned exactly like this. Silent period, the biggest misconception. Now we're coming to a section that many learners really need to hear. This section will change your perspective on yourself. Many people believe something simple. If you're not speaking, you're not learning. If I'm silent, I'm failing. But the book says something very different. Silence is not failure. Silence is generally a stage, a process. When you learn a language, there's generally a stage where you understand a lot but speak little. This stage is natural, common, and necessary. The book explains, understanding comes before speaking. Let me repeat slowly. Understanding comes before speaking. Your brain needs to understand language before producing language. The authors talk about the silent period. Silent means a time when learners don't speak much. During this process, they listen a lot, observe, understand. They may listen for months before speaking. Children experience a long, silent period. They may listen for months before speaking. Nobody worries. Nobody says this child is failing. But adults worry about themselves. They say, I should speak more. I'm too quiet. I'm bad at English. The book clearly states, silence doesn't mean not learning. Silence generally means deep learning. So if you're silent, if you listen more than you speak, if you need time, you're not behind or you're not slow. You're building something strong. Your English is growing inside. One day speaking will feel easier, not because you forced it, but because your brain is ready. Yes, friends, we've come to the end of this journey. So what have we learned so far? Input is a foundation. Listening and reading come first. Speaking doesn't grow from pressure, but from understanding. Your brain builds language inside itself, in its own time, in its own order. Silence is not failure. Mistakes are not enemies. If you learn something from this video, don't forget to like and comment. And definitely subscribe to the channel because in the upcoming videos, I'll explain the secrets of learning English one by one. Until we meet in the next video, keep listening to English, keep reading, and keep practicing. I'm Mr. English Teacher. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye.